Peace and love, brothers and sisters. Peace and love. Y'all know who it be. It's always me. It's the Aquamarine Amicus Warrior. It is the Heyoka. I'm here to drop a serious message today. It's a twofer type message. But my message is simple. It's called Speak Your Peace, but judge not, yet ye be judged. Now, in our society, in our system of illusionary power, there is always one rule I always choose to obey. Well, many rules, but they are the rules of God. And this rule is simple. It says, judge not, yet ye be judged. Now, for those of y'all who don't know who I am not the Night Walker anymore. I am the Heyoka. The Night Walker was the spiritual journey, but the Heyoka is the spiritual journey of truth and understanding and well-being. And that is what I intend to drop to y'all today. But my message today is speak your peace, but judge not ye be judged. The tongue is the most deadliest form of a weapon. You can kill a man with your tongue. You can break a heart of a woman or a man with your tongue. You can discriminate with your tongue. You can judge without knowing the truth with your tongue. Even when you know the truth, you can still hurt with your tongue. This message I am speaking to you today is very simple. I came in from work, say yesterday, and I spoke to my brother-in-law, okay? Me and him had a very interesting conversation about this little rainbow heart I got on my hoodie. Now, he said to me, why the fuck are you wearing that? Do you know what that represents? A bunch of quote-unquote faggots. And he said to me, when it rained yesterday, only 2 people noticed it. Either a faggot or a bitch. And I'm like, what? Very good. But I find it amusing because as the sacred clown, as the Heyoka, I find it amusing because when I explained to him why I wore this rainbow heart, it was not to represent the LGBTQIA community. It was to represent my heart. And my heart is like a rainbow, okay? Now, in the holy word of God, it says, my children, this is my covenant with the earth and all of Noah's descendants. I shall strike forth a bow across the heavens, and neither shall the waters of the earth rise up to wipe out humankind again. So the reason why I wear this rainbow heart is because of God's covenant with the earth. And also because God doesn't see color. So why should I? He created many races with many different faces. He created the Germans. He created the Japanese. He created the Asians. He created the blacks. He created the whites. He created the Puerto Ricans. He created the Spanish. He created the Italians. He created the French. He created the Bangladesh. He created the Arabics. He created. Those are just some of the races, brothers and sisters. He created the Jamaicans. He created the Egyptians. He created so many different races, brothers and sisters. But my message today is very powerful because my message is simple. Speak your peace, but judge not, ye be judged. And I brought this message to your attention today is because my brother-in-law hurt me a little bit. He automatically assumed because I wore this heart that I was a faggot of some time. Now, I have nothing against the LGBTQIA community, nor would I ever do. I respect your right to get married. I respect your right to have children or adopt a child or whatever. Because I have a cousin who is like that, who is a transgender, I have a friend who is gay, and I don't judge. Because I put it like this: if God, in all His infinite wisdom, can love all His children of many faces and many races without judgment, unless they do something that goes against His will, why can't we? So, like I said again, this heart on my hoodie represents the covenant with God, and it also represents, excuse me, it also represents how I am a multicolored being. I don't see color, but I am of many colors. If you don't know your race, if you don't know your background, if you don't know if you're Asian, Japanese, German, Puerto Rican, Italian, Hispanic, then you have no right to judge, because only God's will and God's law is who we should follow. The rule of man does not govern us, but the rule of God does. And in His commandment, He says, "My children, judge not, yea, ye be judged. For I, the eternal Father, His eternal majesty." Go on my YouTube. I put a video up there about that. His eternal majesty is the only one that has the right to be judged. Excuse me, has the right to judge. Forgive me, brothers and sisters. I'm off of no sleep, and I normally be awake at night, but my brother had to come on here and make this message because it just hurt me a little bit. I'm not very good with emotions. Using meditation, I have become like a Vulcan. I have suppressed my emotions for many seasons. Let's say 13 moons. For 13 moons, I have suppressed my emotions. But when he said that to me, he judged me without knowing what this heart represents and what it is about. Yes, sure, now it's about the LGBTQIA community. But before it was about that, it was about something simple. It was about God's covenant with the earth. It was about peace and love. Like back in the 80s, back in the 70s, back in the 60s, it was about peace and love and happiness. But before it was about peace and love and happiness, it was about God's covenant with the earth. Because I believe that God could create a rainbow that has many different colors in it, like all the beautiful colors of nature and all the beautiful colors of the animals that He created. Why would you need to judge? And then my other brother-in-law came along and he said, well, our people are so quick to judge without knowing what's up. And I'm like, why is it we, as a African American or indigenous people, are so quick to judge when we have been judged our entire life? We can't be so quick to judge when we, as a people, have been judged our entire life. Oh my God, there's a black man. He must be dangerous. Let's call the police. Oh my God, he's reaching into his backpack. Or he's reaching into his pocket. He must have a gun. Let's call the police. He might be ready to shoot up a school or shoot up a community. Or, oh my God, Trayvon Martin. No disrespect. But oh my God, it's Trayvon Martin. He's walking down the street with a pack of fucking Skittles at Arizona and talking to his girlfriend on the phone. And he gets judged, okay? With wearing the same hoodie I'm wearing, a gray hoodie. Well, mine is black and gray, but you get what I'm saying here, brothers and sisters, okay? He was walking home in a nice gated community that his father and mother provided, okay? And instead of going home, he's now in the grave, unable to get married, unable to continue his bloodline, because he has been wiped off the face of the earth by a radical who thought it was his divine right by God. Let me rephrase that. Not by God, but by a system of illusionary power that be, that told him it was okay for him to shoot down an innocent, unarmed teen. because he was in the wrong community. So you judged without getting to know the kid. The kid could have been lost. The kid could have been homeless. The kid could have been looking for friends or family. But you automatically assumed that this kid was dangerous just by the color of his skin. And when my other god brother said that to me tonight, I thought about that. He says, my name is like a girl's name. So people judge me all the damn time. And I had to fight in school because of my name. That reminds me when I was at work. And another brother told me, he said, well, I had to fight in school too because of my name. And I'm like, it doesn't matter what they call you. It's what you answer to. So like I said, my message is speak your peace, but judge not, yet ye be judged. Because anytime you sit up here and judge without getting to know a person, then something's wrong. Because the big man upstairs can put the spirit inside of us and put a soul inside of us. So we won't be walking around as soulless demons. Then, in all his infinite wisdom, he is the only one who can judge because he created the heavens and the earth, because he created man and woman. So this heart on my chest, like I said, will stand. And I will not cut it off. I will not rip it off because I put it on here as proof of God's covenant with the earth. God said in his holy commandment, and you can look this up and quote me word for word, my children, this I shall do. I shall strike forth a bow across the heavens, and this shall be as a covenant with Noah's descendants. Neither shall the waters of the earth rise to flood mankind. I am not joking about this. Every time you see a bow, you should look towards the heavens and know that you are descendants of Noah and his family. You should know that that is the covenant between you and the Almighty Creator. Now, if you of no religion, I respect that, but this video can still be useful to you. If you are agnostic, I'm agnostic a little bit too. I question some stuff about religion, you know. I'm not with all of it, but I respect, I say 95% of religion, okay? But at the same time, the other, I say 6 to 9% of it, I still question because some of that I believe I believe it was written by the hands of man and not by the hands of the divine creator. Now, getting back to my point, like I said, he hurt me very badly. Well, not to the extent where I wanted to cry, but to the extent that it made me think about making this video because anytime our people are so quick to judge that we don't see we're hurting somebody instead of helping somebody, then it's time we do as the Father in heaven created and judge not, yet ye be judged. Very good. Now, this hurts me a little bit because I didn't know that we were so quick to judge when we, as indigenous people, African American people, have spent our entire lives being judged by the opposite of racists who think we're barbaric, um, who think we're gang violent, uh, gang violent. Uh, what's the word I'm thinking of? The word comes to me. Gang violent thieves who belong behind bars. We spent our entire lives being judged by opposite races. And now that we finally nipped that in the bud, we are so quick to judge our own race. But we don't realize the biggest judgment comes from your own race instead of from the opposite race. Instead of judging a different race or a different color or a different religion, a different background, why don't you try to get to know that person, persons, they, them, whoever, he, him, she, her? Why don't you try to get to know them before you judge them, brothers and sisters? Because, like I said, I drop my knowledge. I speak my peace for all my brothers and sisters across the land and sea. And I'm not speaking of one race. I'm not speaking of one religion. I'm not speaking of one background. I'm speaking of many backgrounds. I'm speaking of many different faiths. I'm speaking of many different people because I am, and I as well as will be, the Heyoka who speaks his peace all across the land and sea. If you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. I'm like the cussing pastor. I will let you know the truth, but if you can't feel me on the truth, then you needs to walk your ass about the door. Because this is a place of truth. And I will be speaking my peace. And I will be speaking the truth. Now, as I said, brothers and sisters, it is the Heyoka, the Aquamarine, Amicus Warrior, always balanced, but never unchallenged. Friend of nature, who will rescue an innocent kitten off the street and give it a roof, even if I don't have one, or give it food, even if I don't have a food myself. But I have a small problem when you judge, when ye should not judge. I have a small problem when you disrespect what you should protect. I have a small problem when you don't know what the fuck you talking about. But you automatically assume that it's okay for you to do so. We, as the African American indigenous community, really need to learn how to shut the fuck up and look on the inside instead of the outside. Okay? We, as the human race, need to learn how to shut the fuck up. Look from the inside instead of the outside. Excuse me, I almost said the wrong thing there for a second. But my message today is speak your peace, but judge not, yet ye be judged. Okay, brothers and sisters. Like I said, this heart on my chest does not represent the LGBT community. Back in the 80s, back in the 70s, it represented peace and love. Now, it represents the LGBT community. But before that, it represented God's covenant with the earth. God said, and again I quote, "My children of Noah's descendants, I shall strike forth a bow in the heavens, and neither shall the waters of the earth and the waters of the heavens rise to flood mankind." Meaning God will never shed a tear again as long as his children do as he has commanded. And in the Ten Commandments it says, "Have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not have no great images unto false gods. Thou shalt not lust after the flesh. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not commit adultery," which means, being in a marriage, but having multiple partners while in your marriage. Now, I'm not judging nobody, because like I said, my message today is speak your peace, but judge not, ye be judged. But if you abandoning your eyesight, if you abandoning your ears, if you abandoning the taste, the touch, all these things that were given to you by the Creator, then hey, stay away from me. Because obviously, you don't have the holy light inside you anymore. And by the holy light, I mean the Spirit, which is the light that God uses to see you. Okay? When God sees his children, he sees the Spirit. Like in my rainbow heart right here is yellow, like the sun that God rises every day. Okay? So, he rises the sun and sets with the moon. So we should rise like the sun and set with the moon. But if you forget who you are by judging, you should not be judging, because he is the only divine judge that will judge us when it's time for us to meet him and all our ancestors they be. Then maybe it's time you wake the fuck up. I am the Heyoka, and I have spoken my peace. Hear my peace. Pass along my peace. Otherwise, I don't give a fuck. But I have spoken my peace, my brothers and sisters. Peace and love from the heavens above, from the universe itself. It is the Hellcat.